Cheers, guys.
All right,
Cheers, guys.
yeah. Let's do another one here.
All right.
See how they go.
So good. So good. All right. Welcome, Ditto, to our podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
So the idea of this started because me and Zach, we talked about our experiences overseas, and a lot of it post-deployment, right? And I started seeing therapy at the VA. And I think this podcast is mainly to kind of express anything that's you have on your chest and let people, I guess what we're trying to do is we're trying to normalize the fact that we're fucked up.
Yeah.
We're fucked up in all different various ways. Like I slap myself when I think I want to cry because I just don't want to let myself cry and feel that shit. You know, I know it's funny.
We talked about that.
But that's my level of fucked upness. Some other dudes, I don't know, they have their own ways to cope. So I think us sharing our stories will definitely help ourselves and then possibly anyone watching.
Yeah. So we got Gerry Ditomasso,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Ditto, back on this podcast today. And back in the 82nd day, right? So where were we at? We had, 2 deployments to Iraq?
I did 105 and 107.
Yeah. And then Afghanistan too?
And 12.
82nd?
No.
Yeah.
Charlie
with Guard.
Company.
Okay.
I've been with Charlie Company since they got reflagged from the LURS
Yeah.
in 09.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. So, I mean, just to kind of start you off, I mean, you know, I guess the biggest thing is, like, why did you join and when did you join? And then, like, kind of go through your first kind of experiences in the Army, and we'll go from there.
All right. I joined in 03 when I was 17. But since I did active duty, I had to graduate high school first before I could ship. So my senior year of high school, I was like, oh, screw this. I'm in the Army already.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care. I barely showed up.
What year did you graduate?
04.
Okay, yes. Okay, we're in the same grade. Okay.
Yeah. So, I was like, I just don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, my teachers took this rebellious streak of mine as like, hey, we're just kind of going to let him go into the Army because it's probably going to be good for him.
You went classical, right?
Yeah.
Smart killer right here.
Yeah, well, not that smart, apparently. But yeah, so, I finished my last year of high school, and then July 29th, I was at MEPS on way down to Fort Benning for basic. And I don't tell a lot of stories about basic because it's basic.
Yeah, it's basic. Yeah.
But the one thing is, growing up, I couldn't have my food touch, right? Couldn't have it touch at all.
That's your thing, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, and so literally I got to basic. My first breakfast there, everything on a plate, and I weighed 117 pounds, so I was on double rats, right? So I ate twice the amount of food everybody else had to eat. And they just slapped everything on there, and I just stared at it. And I'm like, oh, my God, what did I do? And I sat there and stared at it all breakfast, and then I didn't eat. And then lunch came around, and I was like, hey, man, you're going to get over this real quick, because if you don't eat, you're going to die. And I was like, so everything was a sandwich from that point on. Spaghetti sandwiches, everything sandwich. Didn't matter what touch, didn't care.
Nice. So how'd you get assigned at Fort Bragg? How did that come about?
That actually is also a funny story. When I was in MEPS, I got I got a 120 GT score, and I forgot what I got on the ASVAB. And so I'm talking to the career counselor, and he looks at me, he goes, 120 GT score. He goes, you can have any job in the Army. And I was like, I want to be airborne infantry, and I want to go to Fort Bragg. And he looks at me again, and he goes, any job in the Army. And of course, me being 117 pounds, I was like, no, that's what I want. He goes, all right. And puts me through all the contract stuff, has me sign everything. And at the end of it, he looks at me and goes, you're an idiot, right? Yeah, no, that's what I want, though. But I wanted to go to Bragg. My grandfather was a paratrooper in the 82nd during World War II.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some,
And he
some
had-
historical stuff there,
Yeah.
some Antrust stuff, yeah.
And he had 3 jumps.
3 combat jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you learn that?
I knew growing up.
Okay, so you grew up knowing this is a big thing.
Yeah, this was my grandfather, and I remember him talking more about jumping. He didn't really talk about the war, but he talked about the jumping because they did the training jumps and everything like we do.
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
he talked about how much fun he had and how enjoyable that aspect of it was.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
he was actually in a hospital in England because he got sick in Miss Normandy.
Oh no shit! So he jumped into probably what Salerno,
Sicily, Salerno, 9 million.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
And the deal door.
Oh yeah, he keep tapping.
Oh,
So we was that the biggest spur to join the military, or I mean, what else? Like,
my dad's Air Force, my uncle Air Force, my great grandfather was a Marine during World War II.
shit.
So a lot of family stuff.
Yeah.
My father always tried to encourage me to join the Air Force because it was a lot easier.
Because they treat you like people.
Yeah, because it's the Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're nice most of the time.
And you stupidly
Yeah.
went
Oh,
airborne
yeah.
infantry to Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
sure.
do that definitely.
Show you, old man.
Yeah. Yep. So you get to Fort Bragg, you fucking get in all over there. How far were you when you deployed the first time?
I was at Bragg. I want to say like 6 months, 7 months.
Oh shit! So you went right out the door then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were already training. We were already training up for deployment when I got there.
Oh, four.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And we'd left in 05. Well, we left in 05. We left in October 05. And then we got back in February of 06.
Yeah.
Or was it? No, sorry, March. March 06.
Nice. So you, I mean, how did you're a new guy going to essentially get in the Bragg, right? And then
Yeah.
you're like the new guy, like getting ready to go to, going to Iraq at the time. Obviously, with everything going on, it's like Iraq's like the next big buildup. Like, I mean, was it difficult being the new guy at that point?
Oh
or
yeah,
was
it
it?
also helped. I was a stupid private. I was a terrible private. Like the first year, awful private.
Yeah.
Did normal private stuff. I didn't like go out and buy a car right off the bat, but I did other private stuff,
Yeah.
just like private things.
Nah, you're going to
what
war.
was the highlight? What was-
Oh, I had a good one. So we did payday activities the first Friday of every month was payday activities. So we came in, we had to all show up in our dress uniforms, and we did a full dress inspection, full room inspection, all that fun stuff. Well, I forgot my wallet in my room. And of course, this was my first payday activity. I didn't realize that part of the inspection was your dog tags and your ID card. And then my ID card was in my wallet. So as my platoon sergeant, Sergeant Lopez, this big giant triple tab guy, is walking around doing this inspection. He's like, "Where's your ID card?" I'm like,
He's like, oh shit.
I had no idea I needed it. And so I had to, that whole weekend, every hour during the day, I had to come down to the CQ desk and show them my ID card.
Okay.
And then
Every hour.
Still.
every
all
hour,
weekend.
all weekend.
All weekend, every hour.
And then
Yeah, that sounds army.
the only, and then once it got past 8, I could do it. It was every 4 hours, so I could sleep.
Yeah.
So I could sleep.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awful.
So you still have like, oh my god, my fucking ID card.
I made sure that thing never left my person. It still doesn't, except sometimes when I'm using the computers at work, I'll leave it in there.
Oh,
I'll
jeez,
leave.
yeah.
Forget. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So you went to obviously Iraq. Where in Iraq did you start? I guess.
So I was in northern Iraq. I was actually in Kurdistan. I was on the Iranian border for a while. We were like the furthest northern army unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
We were way up there. It's funny because like you're there, and like the Kurds love us.
Yeah.
So like we didn't deal with anything from the Kurds. Our job, we were guarding a prison, and then you had like exterior security and like foreign fighters and gun runners coming across the border. That was the other thing we did. But like I remember getting there, and it's this old rundown like fort.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly who owned the fort before it, but it was this fort. And it wasn't big, and we had a whole battalion plus MPs and so
Oh shit. Yeah.
it was a lot of
A
people.
lot of people. Yeah.
And my whole company was in one bay.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And like my personal space was probably about as wide as this table and probably about just as long.
Oh, shit.
So I had one of those folding chairs at the end, and that's where I sit down and read because there was no TVs, there was no phones, there was no nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't get phones, computers till like month 7.
No shit.
Yeah.
So this is where you spent the majority of the deployment in this little confined space.
Well, when we were out doing like patrols and stuff.
Yeah, I mean-
yeah, but yeah,
That was your space. Got it.
yeah. The whole company was there.
Oh man, I had a nice bed with a little like.
Oh, I had we had bunk beds, but
Okay.
Yeah.
that was
So like this is at the time that like pretty much like what? So 05, that's when Fallujah is happening,
Yeah.
right? So all this stuff's happening, and then you're you're up north. Like I guess what was the feelings up there with everybody?
well, once again, like the Kurds loved us. They hated everybody else though. they don't consider themselves Iraqi. You know, they don't consider themselves Turkish, the Turkish Kurds, or they hate everybody.
Yeah.
Except for Kurds and Americans. And I don't know why they like us so much because, like, we screwed them over pretty much every chance we got in the 80s, in 90s, and 2000s. Like, literally, we're like, oh, hey, you guys are great. Thanks for helping us. And fuck you, done. We're up.
Probably Rambo. A lot of Hollywood they see. You know, that's probably why people like Americans.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like was your thing like a lot of hearts and minds at the time? Like was it like
Yeah, it was-
hey, help the Kurds and then they'll do stuff for us and that
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was, well, once again, like, we didn't even have to help them that much. They were just happy we were there.
thing. Yeah.
And like they'd come on patrol with us and stuff because like it's funny so my first deployment, my parents, my grandparents used to send me care packages all the time, and thank God, because that was literally like, you know, we had food shortages and stuff like that, so it was literally like how we ate sometimes is
Yeah,
care
yeah.
packages,
No shit.
you know, because we were so far north. But my grandmother used to send me ice packs and stuff to keep me cool because she's like, oh, he's in Iraq, he's in a desert. Well, I was in the mountains. I was like 6,000 some odd feet above sea level, something ridiculous. It was freezing,
It's fucking freezing cold. We
freezing
got ice
cold.
packs coming
We got
from Grandma.
we got snow. I saw snow in Iraq, and so I wrote my mother a letter home, and in the letter I was like, "Hey, Mom," I was like, "I really appreciate Grandma sending me stuff, but tell her to stop sending ice packs. We need hand and feet warmers because it is freezing."
Jesus. That's like what like you know like the Americans picture about like Iraq and they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, Iraq's happening. It's like a fucking desert, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know there was snow. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was miserably cold.
That's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that was your whole first deployment was doing the thing up north. Did you like any engagements or was it like
Yeah, we did have some engagements. We were very lucky nobody got killed. We had some guys get hurt and stuff like that. But it was once again wasn't like anything on the Iraq side of the border. It was all like
gun runners? Like coming
gun
in?
runners, foreign fighters coming over the border.
No shit. Yeah.
Were your engagements, were they kind of like I've never been to Iraq, but were they kind of like the spray and pray kind of attacks, or were they kind of like these guys are like hunkering down?
No, so when dealing with the Iranians, right? So those guys are part of, and I forget the name of like the Iranian Irregular Army,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you have the Iranian Army, then you
Yeah.
have their little
Guerrilla fighters.
but they're trained.
Okay.
They know what they're doing. It's kind of like the Taliban in Afghanistan, you know. So those guys their purpose was they would gather in, and there were these little villages and stuff that Saddam had gassed in like the 80s, and some of them nobody moved into. So like you'd go through and you'd have to clear them out because they would use them as staging areas to move further south. And like the gun runners, they didn't care though. They if you caught them, they'd be like, hey, here you go, you got us, because they knew they were getting sent to an Iraqi prison, and somebody would pay for them to get out, and they'd be out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's just like corruption.
Yeah,
at
and
its fucking
They weren't
staple,
there.
yeah.
They weren't there for a cause. They were there to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A vast majority of the time, they weren't there for a cause. They were there for the cash monies.
So I guess it was so was it straight up like guard details, this and that, like kind of like doing the border mission pretty much like
Yeah,
all that stuff.
guard duty, border patrol, pretty much to the extent clearing ops.
That sounds fucking boring as fuck.
There were busy weeks and there were not busy weeks.
I was about to say I've heard some of these little stories before. I know I was actually talking about you a few weeks ago before LaPierre told me that you'd be on. I don't know why you came up, but we're talking. Oh, I work with an airman, and because she's the Air Force, she doesn't know much about like weapons and all that kind of stuff. And I was explaining to her like the kill radius of a grenade, and then you popped in my mind. I go, actually, I know someone who survived a grenade. Like I remember you told me it was just like 3 feet from your foot.
No, it was further than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this the first one or was this the second deployment?
First one.
The first deployment?
Yeah.
Did you think you were gonna die when you saw that thing?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I was 19. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You want to explain that story again? Like, I don't know if do you know the story?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever.
You probably heard it before.
Yeah, probably.
So I was on point on a patrol and walking, and I see this thing get tossed in front of me. And I look, I see it bounce, and I'm like, oh shit. It's a grenade.
What kind of grenade is it?
One of the old Russian kind
Pineapple kind?
yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I hit the deck, and like I'm on there's a sidewalk, there's a little bit of a street there. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I'm laying there because this thing goes off.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then fire. They start shooting at us. 3 guys.
Okay.
And so my guys return fire. Meanwhile, I'm just laying there. I'm like, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna chill out for a couple seconds.
Well, you said you were waiting for the grenade to go off.
No, the grenade had already gone off. At that point in time,
they cooked it.
I was just laying there.
Got it.
I was like, man, I hope these guys think I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because
smartest move. Yeah.
yeah. And so my guys go through. They end up smoking these 3 dudes.
Nice.
My squad leader comes over. He goes, ditto. He goes, are you all right? I was like, I think so. Pats me down.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're okay.
Fucking grenade goes off. You think your whole life flashed before your eyes and just like, what the fuck is going
I was 19. I was terrified. Absolutely terrified.
How long were you in country till that happened?
That was first couple months.
When was your first firefight then?
Literally like 3 weeks in country. Actually, the first time I ever shot at was in a Chinook.
You probably didn't even know you were getting shot at.
Oh,
You're
no.
Like, what the fuck is that?
We did.
Oh, you did. You're like, no shit, like we're getting shot at. Okay.
So we were leaving BIOP, the Baghdad International, heading up to our base. So we had 3 Chinooks, right? Loaded up, taking off, going. As we're leaving BIOP, I'm in the middle Chinook. I just see tracers start pouring out of the Chinook behind me.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, what the? And I see the guy on the tail of ours with a 50 cal, like,
Yeah.
just blasting. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Well, apparently, guys were on roofs, like volley firing RPGs up at helicopters.
Yeah.
Trying to hit helicopters as they left BIOP.
As they left BIOP, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
It's such a butt puckering idea. You're on a fucking
Because you can't do
bus.
anything about it.
It's
You're just like,
yeah.
well, hopefully this thing doesn't hit me, but whatever.
You're just there. You're there for the
Slow
ride.
moving bus.
You're just there for the ride, and you're like, oh, thank God, there's a lot of sky.
Ah, Jesus.
How many firefights do you think you've been in total?
Honestly, I don't really have a good idea. It's been a bunch.
For sure. I bet.
Yeah. Oh, I should say firefighters. Like, there are ones that lasted a while, and there are ones that literally like dudes popping off a couple rounds and going home. Like my second tour, that was a lot of what happened was guys would pop off a couple rounds, they go home. Like, oh, let's go out to MSR Tampa and shoot the Americans real quick. And they go, pop off some rounds, and they leave. And that's how you could tell, you're fighting like the local militia guys. Is like literally at like dinner time, at prayer time, evening prayer time, they're like, hey, deuces, we're out. We're going home. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We'll fight you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. They go home, have dinner.
Yeah. Play some Xbox.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Jesus.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, right. So you go into obviously the fucking grenade happens, right? So that did that fucking shake you at all for your next fucking patrol? Like, I mean, was it like, oh shit?
Yeah,
this is
terrifying.
fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like you have close calls in general on, anytime you leave, it could be the last time you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get so used to it. Like,
Yeah.
there's something pivotal that happens that really makes you feel your mortality. Was that then, or?
No, because that was still so early in the deployment.
Well, it was. I just thought and we've talked about it before. Well, like fucking deployment was just so easy. It was super easy because it was like walking out of that fucking fob or fucking cop, whatever, and you're like, I'm either gonna die or I'm not gonna die.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
And that was it. And all I had to do was work out and fucking go do my fucking job.
Yep.
And then come back, or not come back. I mean, it's.
But then it's not my problem.
Yeah, but you're not worried about fucking taxes. You're not worried about fucking bullshit pay. It's just like I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna fucking either die or not die.
And
it is what it is. And it's like the easiest, almost most zen thing you can be in. I just felt like it was such zen when you were there.
The way I've always looked, or the way I always thought about it was, it's kind of like, You get there, first couple months, oh, hey, what's up, dog? Nope, come on, I got you. There we go. There we go, dog. Oh, I'm gonna just.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. There we go. Good girl. There we go.
The debate has been had. You have to comment on like, should we let Gabby in or not let Gabby in?
Leave Gabby in or not? Because like I want to kick her out, but I'm so busy all the time. I feel bad. I don't spend any time with her. Like so, I let her just.
I like her. She
well,
lets
what's
me...
weird is that she's on everybody else and not you.
Yeah.
So.
Fucking Gabby.
It's because you shaved her hair like that.
It's a mohawk. Oh, sorry. Shit. What were we talking about?
Yeah. So you're talking about like we were talking about like the Zen, like
Yeah.
fucking.
So like the way I always thought about it was like, so the first couple months in country, you're kind of getting used to things. Things are new. Things are scary. Then you get into like the middle part of the deployment where you're kind of like you're used to everything. You're just ready to go out. You'd be like, all right, let's go. Let's do the job. Let's take the fight to the enemy.
We're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah, I'm here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And the last couple months, you're kind of like, hey, man, I'm getting real close to the end here. So if you guys can chill the fuck out, I'm going to chill the fuck out a little bit. We'll kind of, I'd like to go home now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of done with this.
You had enough games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get off the bench, just like, all right, I'm good. Oh, God, that's so gross. If you want to just, like I said, just push her down, throw her down.
Hi, Gabby. I know, huh? All right, I'm going to put you down over here.
Gabby, down.
There you go. Good girl.
She can't figure it out.
Nah.
I remember, I remember at some point, like the firefights, and the attacks on the cops felt normal. But eventually something happened where I remember my brain was just like, oh, fuck, like we can really die.
Come here, Gabby.
And then it just kind of changed my perception on things.
Yeah. No, and like I said, like I didn't lose anybody my first tour, but like my second tour, we lost 3 guys.
Oh, shit, man, I'm sorry.
And that each one of those events kind of brings you back down to reality. Like that could have been any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were they guys in your platoon?
No, there were guys in the battalion, but
Okay.
like, guys I knew.
Yeah. At least there's a little bit of that separation. Like I mean, it's not nice to lose your own guys. We lost guys in like other platoons, and I'm actually aware of the cameras. I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To any of my guys who are watching. But because they weren't in my platoon, there was that level of separation where it's like, as an American, I mourn their loss, but it's like.
They weren't one of my guys.
It wasn't the same thing as like losing. Like I lost my teammate. Like
Yeah.
he didn't die out there. Like I even now like I feel, it weighs on me because like he died. You know what I mean? Like stateside. So I couldn't imagine how it is to like, lose someone in your platoon.
Yeah, no, it's like once again, we were lucky we didn't lose anybody in my we didn't lose anybody in my company. It was all within the battalion. But like one of the guys we lost was my team leader when I was in Arslick. Somebody I talked to on a regular basis. Very close with him, and unfortunately, he was one of the guys that got it.
Yeah. That was the second deployment?
Yeah, that was
After
the second one.
Yeah.
I was there for the surge in
Okay.
07.
07, that's right. Oh, shit. So, I guess the 05 deployment, it ended. We talked about how you, like, because we talked about the National Guard coming back. Like, how was it to, like, come back and then go back to redeploy? Like, that's, like, super quick. You're
Yeah.
like fucking less than a year, really, right?
Yeah. No, and that once again, like, active duty, that's just the way things were going.
Yeah,
It was just like, so my first deployment was with 1504. And then they did this whole RISTA thing, reconnaissance, interdiction, surveillance, target acquisition.
Yep.
Battalions, right? So it was a CAV battalion in the brigade.
Mm-hmm.
And so the CAV battalion had 2 CAV companies and had an infantry company. And so I went over and joined the infantry company to help stand the battalion up. And so I went from 1504 to 373 CAV.
Oh, no, shit. In the 82nd.
In the
Yeah.
82nd.
Yeah.
So on top of getting ready to deploy again,
Now
we
you're
were
all-
also standing up a
all
whole
new.
battalion.
Yeah. Where were you in Iraq at that point? You were.
I went to Scania. I was in CSC Scania, which is a big truck stop.
Yeah, just truck stop.
Yeah, it's a halfway. It was the halfway point between Kuwait City and Baghdad, I believe.
Oh shit.
On MSR Tampa.
You got stop loss during one of the deployments, right?
I did.
Was that your second one?
Yes, it was.
Did that feel when you found out that like how crushing was that?
I was very upset.
Yeah.
So, happened to me and a couple of my buddies, and so what happened was, on our one of my buddies missed it by like 2 weeks. He was
Missed the stop loss.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So while we were over there, on each of our original ETS dates, we'd get together and crack one of those near beers and sit down and have a near beer together. The non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got you.
So yeah, and then of course, the deployment was only supposed to be 12 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then month 10 rolls around, and we're starting to slow down, starting to pack up a little bit,
Yep.
and we get told like, hey, guys, this is actually gonna be a 15-monther, so we get another 5 months.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was the biggest dick punch.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, but your ETS date was like coming up, right? Like before that.
Oh yeah, but it didn't matter. I was still stuck there.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So what they do? Just like forcibly re-enlist you, or like it's kind of like how they work.
Well, no, because I signed an 8-year contract.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We all signed 8 year contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's tough. Damn, man.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked a lot.
So you said obviously multiple firefights there, and then lost a few people. So obviously, yeah, I mean it was a surge at the time. So it was like a big time in Iraq.
Yeah.
How'd you feel between that one and your first deployment? Was it like oh shit, like this is like the same thing, or is it like is there a different mentality when you go into your second?
Well, it wasn't even part of our mission was like road clearance. My second one, that was something we had to do a lot. That's something I didn't have to do my first deployment.
Were you like a team leader by then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a corporal for the whole deployment.
Fucking route clearance sucks.
Dude, it's the worst.
That's speaking of butt poker.
Oh,
That's all it is. It's like fucking butt poker.
You're just waiting to get blown up. That's literally I'm just driving from A to B, waiting to get blown up.
Yeah, let me clear this fucking road, and hopefully I don't get blown up. But if I do, then I did my job.
Yeah, and like we were still in Humvees.
Yeah.
We were in the up armored Humvees.
Okay.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
So we were driving around in Humvees, getting ready to waiting to get blown up.
Yeah.
And so like that's something I didn't have to do my first deployment, and that was a new like, wow, this blows.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because you're just waiting on it.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, oh man.
Jeez.
And of course, like, you remember getting in like country, like everything's an IED at first, and then nothing's an IED.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh, hey, look at this pile of rocks in this trash. This IED, like every IED lane you ever do. It's like, no.
and by like month 8 or 9, you're like, oh, look at those 3155 rounds. That's probably not an IED, and you just keep going. At that point, you don't care anymore.
Is there any firefights that stand out in your mind?
So we got into one. It was a long one. It was ended up being like, and it wasn't like 9 hours of like constant like shooting or anything, but we were going into the town. It was Diwania, big town, like 30,000 people thereabouts.
Okay.
So, and it has there's kind of like a town here, water, a river, town on the river, and another bridge that goes to a third section of town.
Okay.
So it's like town, bridge, town, bridge, town. And so the Iraqi army had been getting their ass kicked in there for like days. And so we went in to go support the Iraqi army. And we go in the town. And I remember I was the truck commander on the last vehicle. So as we're going into town, my squad leader, who's TCing the front vehicle, comes over the radio. He goes, Gunner hears fire off to the 9 o'clock. And there's a pause. Comes back over the radio. I think they're shooting at us. Quick pause. Yeah, they're shooting at us. And then so we start dumping fire, and we're going in the main road into town, right? And there's all buildings off to 9 o'clock. So we start dumping fire, and we kind of just move through, pull up to the bridge, and we establish a block position on the bridge. And again, now we got to go through, start clearing houses, and like my gunner, there's this big parking structure, and so he had a 50 cal, and I had him search and traverse that that parking garage. We had launching grenades everywhere. It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
And once again, it was like moving, like the whole formation of vehicles was moving throughout the day, and we ended up pushing through the whole town. Then at the end, we ended up establishing up like a block position on the far side of town, set up a machine gun up on one of the roofs of one of the bigger government buildings, and
Was this like an intense firefight where like they had gun teams set up on you guys and you guys were just like talking back and forth, or
no, it was there was a lot of fire. I think some of it was the Iraqi army was shooting at us because they
just
not on purpose,
idiots?
Yeah, they just kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So that definitely happened. But again, like, so it goes through like we started early morning, and it wasn't like we weren't fighting like a company-sized element. We were fighting more like dispersed like groups of local militia guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't running around with a ton of like heavy weapons. There was some RPG fire we took. Yeah, a few PKMs mixed in there, but for the most part it was guys with AKs, PKMs, the RPKs, which are like the light machine guns, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How was your Iraqi guys? Were they good, or I might have?
No, we had these guys called Hill of SWAT,
Okay.
and they were pretty good. They were pretty good.
Okay, mine was like 50-50.
Yeah, it makes
I've literally watched guys, our ANAs lay down and play dead as soon as we got into contact. It's like, you motherfucker.
I swear, I think the Terps were good.
Yeah,
dude,
the
but
Terps
my
might have been
fucking
the
ANA
soldiers.
were fucking horrendous,
Were
dude.
they?
Dude, I'd rather
90%?
I'd rather they not be there
90%,
at all.
95%?
No,
100%.
because I was worried
Yes,
about
yeah.
them shooting us, like literally like
Yeah.
turning around and shooting us because they were that fucked up.
You're just looking at the guys like, get your fucking
Not even that they
finger
were that
off that
fucked up.
trigger.
Not even that they were fucked up, but like they were like fucking Taliban.
Yeah,
like,
like,
I
they
swear
were
to God,
like,
like
yeah,
they were like
boys.
They were like, oh, who's gonna pay me more?
Well, it's not just that. It's like oh, that's my cousin over there. He's Taliban.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
I had dinner last week with them.
Yeah.
like,
Oh, good guy.
yeah. So I mean, just was that firefight the one? I mean, did you guys get fucking RPG? Did you guys blow up the fucking like trucks and stuff like that? I mean, IEDs. Like,
Honestly, we
biggest
didn't
warrior?
get IED. We did get RPG'd. I guess as we were driving in, my buddy was a truck commander in the third vehicle, and I saw this RPG streak out from the buildings, heading right towards his vehicle.
It was like slow-mo, like one
And I
of
was
those
like-
things.
And I just remember thinking for a second, I'm like, oh my God, And then I guess with the RPGs, it's the rocket booster. And you gotta screw it on to the rocket.
Okay.
And I guess the guy didn't screw it onto the rocket.
oh shit.
And so it pushed the rocket out, but I guess something happened and the rocket fell off and hit the ground and the booster just kept going.
Oh, so you thought an RPG is coming, but you're just like it's just like the tail fin, like
Yeah,
like,
just the booster.
just the booster.
Well, because the booster has this little like tracer thing on it,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it burns like red, so you can kind of follow it.
No shit.
I've never seen one launched at me during the day. Like I've seen them at night, but so I assume they would have been like in slow mo. Like I think we've all been like kind of like a firefight where like things happen slow mo.
Yeah.
Was that slow mo for you or?
Yeah,
And if not-
because it was it was
Okay.
one of my good friends, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering, do you have any other recollection of the slow mo? So I don't know why I find those really intriguing. It's just like the whole world slows down. Like I still remember I went to go take a piss, and like so like I'm doing the whole ranger thing where you stick out your leg, I got my saw right here, and like I'm pissing on this rock, and literally like they start fucking shooting at us. You can hear the rounds whizzing by, and I slam on the ground as low as I possibly can,
And
then
you're still peeing.
You gotta let it out, man. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did like a ranger tuck and got it back in there. But I
Tuck over the belt.
remember the round slapping the ground and like the poof of dust in the air. And it was such slow mo for me.
Yeah, it seems like it was there forever. It seems like it just hung in the air
Like
afterwards. too.
3 seconds of it just going. Tss. And I don't know. It's something oddly beautiful about it. Does that make sense?
Huh?
Well, so like same thing in that same firefight. So during our initial contact, I got. So we knew we were going into. Thank you. We knew we were going into. We knew what we were going into.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I was a team leader, my gunner or my saw gunner was one of our truck gunners. So I was like, "Hey, I'm taking your saw out today." I was like, "I'm gonna carry the saw." I was
You
like,
just
"No
had a
point."
gut feeling something?
No, we knew what we were going into.
Okay, you just knew it was like, all right, we're getting in a firefight.
Yeah, because the Iraqi army had been firefights for the past like 3 days. So like we knew we were going in there to fight. So I was like, I'm not gonna even bother with taking an M4 out. I was like, I'm just gonna carry the saw. So I went through. I left my M4 with him in case he needed it, and I took his saw.
Yeah.
But I went out there with like a kit for a saw. I had a ton of rounds. I was ready to go. So during that initial contact, we stopped, started returning fire. I popped out of my door. I put my bipod legs down on the hood of my Humvee, and I started spraying towards those guys shooting at us. And my driver, I could see him like smashing the window, and he like points to behind me, and there are guys running around one of the buildings on the outskirts,
Oh shit.
and they start shooting, and that was like that slow motion, because I'm like, oh, so I turn around. And I'm like just spraying, trying to get my door open and get back into the vehicle because I'm like, oh
shit.
And you can just see. I remember seeing like the puffs of dirt on the road,
Yeah.
kind of the same thing, like that little explosion
A Michael
of
Bay
dirt,
movie.
and it's like,
Slow-mo.
so I'm grabbing my gunner as he's turning around in 50 cal to like lay into these guys, But as I'm falling in, I'm like trying to shut the door, grabbing his leg, like, hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
What would you lap? What's a slow mo memory?
Like as much as you wanted a firefight, it never fucking came, and you were just like fucking waiting, and it was fucking terrible. But the fucking IEDs were fucking all over the place. So we end up fucking hitting an IED, and I remember like literally watching the IED go off, and like because it hit the truck in front of us, and this giant fucking Max Pros, like it fucking hit the truck in front of us. I mean, it ended up launching the truck over the fucking gully that it made because it was such a big explosion. So, like, I just remember like seeing the ground like just kind of crack before it went off, like almost like that was like my slow-mo motion. I don't know, it was weird, but
Like an earthquake happening?
yeah, like it like, and you like almost like I don't even know how to explain it, but like it wasn't just like a bam. It was like slow motion, like trying to like get out of the thing. I was just like, what the
Like I'm picturing like a movie.
Yeah.
Now. Like I see it like
Yeah.
breaking the ground. And then,
yeah, exactly. It felt like a like a big fucking worm's coming out of the ground or something like that. And I'm just
like Tremors?
Yeah, like Tremors. Like, exactly. And you're just like, and like that's kind of like a vision of it or whatever. And yeah, I think it was that. And then I think the only other time I remember it wasn't even a firefight. It was we had got the same instance, right? We get fucking blown up, and then so we're waiting for the low boy to come down because that thing was like fucked up, couldn't fucking drive the Max Pro. So waiting for the low boy to come pick us up, and fucking we had Kiowas overhead, and the Kiowas are fucking awesome. Like
Kiowas.
they're fucking badass.
Kiowas are good.
And they fly like, dude, it's got to be like 50 feet above the ground. Like, I swear to God, like 50 feet to 100 feet. They're fucking awesome. And they're like looking at everything around us. Like and you feel like super safe when they're around you. And then, so this crowd of people all of a sudden start coming out, and they're like, what happened? like they're surprised because there was nobody around when the fucking blast went off. Cause it's like, oh yeah, hey, we're going to blow this up today. So nobody's around. But then they come out like, what happened? Like
oh no,
really?
guys.
Really, dude? Really? Yeah.
Did you guys
what
get
happened?
flat?
So they start like walking towards us or whatever, and like making this giant
back.
crowd. Like, what happened? Oh my god! Oh my god! And then so we're like calling up. We're like, hey, this is a fucking. It's getting pretty big crowd or whatever. And the guy was like, don't worry, I got this. And they're just like, and they just like throw rounds like just like right in front of them. They're like line of people like, and then I was just like,
oh, thank you.
yeah,
That's a way to
thanks.
break a book.
I was like, that was fucking awesome. like they're just like, and the dudes are like, oh yeah, I guess it's not time to go be an audience today, and they all like kind of like dispersed a little bit. And, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I wasn't. Not that I wasn't lucky enough, but it was just like, I don't know, lucky enough, unlucky enough to like not being in like a super firefight,
Roll the dice.
But fucking IEDs, man,
Dude, they're the worst.
I fucking hated that shit. It was like that was my deployment. Was like. You fucking worried about fucking literally obliterating yourself.
Yeah.
I felt safer out of the truck than in the truck.
Oh yeah, because those things are a death
Yeah.
trap.
Yeah.
Once again, I was riding around in Humvees, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm good.
It's fucking crazy.
But you
Those
were-
things don't take a blast at all.
Yeah, I know.
no.
Yeah. You decimated. I mean, even the fucking
The Max Pros and everything.
what is the what's the other one? The fucking Oshkosh.
Oh, the Matt V.
The Matt V. So you get the Bagram when you fucking fly into Bagram. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but like you fly into Bagram and then you do like an IED lane in Bagram, and they're like, hey, this is what you're looking out for. It's pressure plates, and they're probably fucking 10 years old. Like it's fucking stupid. Anyway,
They don't do these anymore.
yeah, but they have like this fucking Mat V, and it's like cut in half, and you're like, all right, they know what they're doing a little bit here. Yeah. So, but luckily we didn't have Mat V's, or I think we sent them back or whatever. But the Max Pros were fucking legit. They were fucking awesome. Yeah.
Those are the ones with like the extended cab. You fit like 6 guys in there.
That was RG 40, something like that. There was a big ass one. It looked like a bus.
Yeah.
That wasn't them. It was like a Max Pro. It was like a international, like the international ones, or whatever. Yeah. No, they were awesome. They were cool. The second version, I guess the first version sucked, but
no, the army buying something that sucks. Nah. That would never happen.
Yeah. So that comes. So we deployed together, obviously. So we get deployed, but we are also in different.
Yeah, we were
platoons,
totally different
platoons, totally different experiences.
Totally different area.
You were with what, second platoon?
I was with
third.
I was with third.
Okay, so you're in third with.
I was with Dirk.
Yeah, down in Aruzagan.
Aruzagan,
right? Aruzagan, yeah. Yeah, so you guys had a fucking crazy fucking time, huh?
It wasn't that bad. Like honestly, like comparatively.
But you were like squad separated, right? You guys went from like 3 different cops, like all separated.
Yeah.
Like, all
so we had 12 guys.
Yeah.
12 guys. What are you doing?
The PSD.
Okay.
Personal security.
Yeah, we all got split up to a provincial reconstruction team.
Oh, what a waste of time.
Yeah. So it's like you're there for just there to like
do meetings, give you Afghans American money.
Yeah. Much.
So you probably cover for a lot of KLEs.
Yeah. So we were like the PSD for essentially these Air Force or civil affairs people like come in and
squirrels that show up.
Yeah. It was nice. It was a good change of pace. Like it was very. I think we got shot at twice. I think the whole time we were there, which was a kind of nice change of pace. Like,
Now, were you there when the fucking suicide bomber fucking?
No, that was up north.
That was the other guy.
That was
right?
Shore.
Yeah.
That wasn't us.
That was a fucked up situation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
So I know this is probably gonna be kind of left field, but I'm really curious. Obviously, circle back however you want, but I'm curious, Ditto. You seem pretty happy-go-lucky, pretty chill. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way about myself. I would describe myself the same way. I don't have PTSD. I don't have any lingering issues from the war. But maybe 5 years ago, I started noticing differences about myself. Largely, it's my anger. Growing up, I was always the kid that got along with everybody. And like I remember even as a kid, like I remember I was in 8th grade, some girl came up to me, was like, she said, "I'm having a bad day, can you make me laugh?" Like I always had friends because I was always the nice guy. And then I found myself before I was doing therapy, I was getting like just pissed all the time, like 10 times a day. I'd be like doing dishes and I'll have an angry thought, into my brain. So that's what I'm kind of dealing with. Do you have anything you struggle with that you feel comfortable sharing?
Oh yeah, like you, I dealt like a lot of anger stuff. I had when I came back from Afghanistan. Actually, I had a lot of trouble with my wife. She was in med school in Dominican Republic, so I moved down there with her, and. I wasn't working or anything because I don't habla. My Spanish is not very good. I could do like supermarkets and stuff, go to a restaurant, order food and beer and whatnot. But I wasn't doing this in Espanol. But yeah, so like I was kind of stuck in the house a lot, and so I clean, try and keep the house in order. But I had this habit where when I wanted something done. I kind of talk to my wife like a private, like, hey, this needs to get done. It needs to get done now. And so she had to remind me often that, she was not a Joe.
Yeah.
She didn't work for me.
Yeah. So
that was another thing. Because, like overseas, I was used to, hey, this needs to get done. This needs to get done now. This needs to get done now.
Yeah.
So I was used to that, like immediate gratification almost of, hey, this has to get done, get it done.
Yeah. It's very matter of fact,
Yeah.
Machiavellian, fucking just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And so my wife, not
Yeah.
a huge fan.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any wife is a fan of like get this done now. Like,
But that was, I guess that
That
was the biggest issue. Like you don't have, I mean,
well, we talked about it. We talked about drinking and stuff like that.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, like
you know, a lot. We all fucking drink to an extent. You know, most of us. And
oh yeah,
some people
no, and like
can't or whatever.
so that
but-
was another issue I had when I got off active duty was like coming back from that deployment, coming back from the stop loss and everything is I would just drink my face off.
Yeah.
And like I would go out and like I moved back in with my parents, and they lived right down the street from my regular bar I used to go to. I like went to that bar all the time. And so I literally would just walk to the bar, get shithoused, stumble home. And that was like 4, 5, 6 nights a week. Just blitzed,
Oh shit.
you know? And like, honestly, what helped me deal with that was, so my great uncle Mel was a Korean War vet. My grandfather passed away when I was 9. So
Yep.
I couldn't talk to him about this because he was already passed. My great uncle Mel was a Korean War vet. And I actually talked to him about a lot of stuff. And that helped me because he went through, and this was, you know, he was there in like 52.
Yeah.
And he went to the VA and started talking to somebody.
like we started. What year is this?
This was,
Like at the time. Like
This
he
was
was
at
like,
the time.
Yeah, at the time.
yeah,
So he-
this was like,
So
this was
10
like
years
50.
ago?
Yeah, it's like actually a little bit longer ago than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I think I had just gotten on active duty and he had, so it was from 04 or 05,
Okay.
Yeah.
that
So,
time frame.
you know, 52 to 07.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like-
And they helped him realize like, hey man, you know, you have PTSD.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those feelings you feel are because of Korea
yeah.
and what you experienced over there.
Yeah.
And so talking to him kind of helped me. And so then like talking to other guys, that's always helped me the most, I think. Also, because of some of the issues my wife and I had when we got back stateside, we went and saw like marriage counselors too.
Good.
Yep.
And that helped us communicate better and talk better. And it helped me kind of process a lot of my issues.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's one of the things about therapy is learning it's okay to feel things.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking? What do you think? What was that? What was your biggest issue?
Huh? Honestly, it was like just anger. Like as soon as something didn't go my way, or as soon as something happened that would piss me off, I just go like white hot, and I would go like from 0 to 100, and it would just be anger. That was like my only response to stuff. Sometimes
Yeah.
was anger.
Did your therapist identify as hyperarousal?
Mm,
Just curious, because that's what my therapist had said to me.
Terry's good.
I don't-
Terry's good with words.
I like the word arousal. Hyper.
I like the word hyper. I like the word arousal. Not sure if they're good together.
Well, I'm still just trying to claw at anything that helps me fix me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So I never went to therapy just for me. It was always it was couples therapy. And I don't think you ever used those words.
Okay, got it. So it's more on your relationship versus you alone. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can feel for that one because like my wife. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Have you done couples therapy as well?
No, I'm sure my wife would be very happy to do it, but
Honestly,
but it's honestly it was. I think I realized it was me way before that, and like so it was like, you know, my wife's really good. She's a social worker, so she already
yeah.
knows like the whole fucking gambit, and I've been social work since I fucking got married. So as soon as she's like, hey. And actually, it's funny though because your Uncle Mel, right? You're like,
Yeah.
you know, shit's fucked up. You're just fucking drinking your face off, right? And it was like the same instance. I remember like at the same time, Halloween we would go around. We always had a big family party at my Uncle Max, and my Uncle Max, a Marine in Vietnam, and I don't know if he's ever talked to anybody about it. Like he's very whatever, and I remember like going downstairs to his bar and like, I mean, I was drinking a lot, like, and
Yeah.
it was, and
like excessive.
Like, I mean, my family drinks a lot, so it's not like
See, I'm kind of
that
same,
crazy.
I'm kind of in the same boat.
But then, like, he just kind of maybe saw something in me and was like, "Hey, man, what the fuck's going on? Like, you need to go to the VA." Like, and that's when I was like, "Yeah, probably." And then, well, that's when that's when I like had the, I guess, the courage to do it, because like he was, like, it was a dude I respect. It was a good dude I like respected like forever, and he was like my uncle in Vietnam, and he saw a problem in it. So I was like, yeah, that's you know, yeah. So that's like, I guess it takes a spade to see a spade, or whatever it is, but you know, and I listened to him, which I wouldn't listen to just my wife and be like, yeah, you're fucked up. And I'd be like, no, I'm not like, you know?
No, because that's the other thing is we're stubborn. Like I'm a stubborn man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, also my wife is ridiculously stubborn.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like that caused a lot of friction in our relationship as well, was the fact that I'll dig in and she'll just dig in harder. And then, so we had to go see somebody, which by the way, I strongly suggest, like, I think we go every once in a while just to like
to rehash stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of like
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. Like I never thought that was important. Like,
because you're a dude. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I'm a
never
dude.
raised to like, it's
Yeah.
not part of manly culture.
but it's kind of nice. I always feel better afterwards, and I always tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, man, I'm like, things don't have to be. You don't have to be about to get a divorce to go see a counselor, like a marriage counselor. It's nice to just kind of, because like she'll have certain goals, I'll have certain goals. Sometimes those goals don't coincide.
Yeah.
And if she's not after the same goals as me, sometimes I'll feel hurt. Or if I have the same goals as her, sometimes she'll feel hurt. And a counselor kind of just helps us
guide it. Like, guide it together and like kind of figure it all out, right? Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about love, but I'm assuming just love isn't enough.
It helps though.
Yeah, you definitely need love in a relationship.
That's good.
But
does help.
I would
help.
imagine
Yeah.
love isn't enough, and the counselor helps you.
Yeah, well, because you don't always know how to, like, once again, I'm a guy. I don't know how I'm not good at processing my feelings.
This is why we're here. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, yeah.
We're gonna try and get Terry to cry, and then
I'm not good.
figure it all out.
I can cry,
Right?
But
I'm not great at processing my feelings.
yeah,
And it's not even that sometimes I don't think I should be having these feelings. It's just sometimes like sometimes I just shut down. I'm like, no.
you're very used to it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, well, even like, so after having kids, that's when I felt like, holy shit, like all these fucking emotions, like the stuff I never even would have thought about crying out. Now I'm like, and I'm just like,
who the fuck am I?
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? What? But like, I still have the feeling that like that's still not right. Like, I'm just like, why the fuck are you crying at some fucking stupid story about this and that or whatever it is? And you're just like, fuck, man. Like, well, hey, it is what it is, and it's still tough.
Dude, we're conditioned. Dude, our cohort, we're conditioned where like we grew up with fucking Predator and Rocky and like those 80s
Predator was
macho
awesome.
movies where it's like, this is what a man is. You know what I mean?
It's Sly Stallone just beating the bag out of Mr. T, or or Arnold Schwarzenegger covering himself up in mud so you don't get that thermal vision.
But you have to remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, he was.
So
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
But I mean, like at that, like I watched that recently, and I was like, dude, like there's some feelings there.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
and you're just like, and you're like,
Even like Last Action Hero.
yeah, and you're like, oh shit, well, I didn't really saw that now, but now that I'm like maybe thinking about some things or whatever it is, you're like, oh shit, that's actually it's a good point. Like you're like, wow, yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, yeah, making it, that's kind of the goal, is to not make it like dudes talking.
Normalize
like kind of
it.
like make it like, hey, like we're gonna bullshit, we're gonna have some beers, we're gonna talk about fucking feelings, we're gonna get Terry to cry.
Well, my buddy's actually he's starting a podcast and on the similar topic, and his goal is, I didn't realize at the time this is what we're trying to do, but I think what we're trying to do is normalize guys, particularly vets, talk about their feelings, because I honestly hate talking about my feelings. I don't like it. I don't like feeling certain feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it sucks.
yeah, it sucks.
It makes you feel like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We didn't join the infantry to be a little bitch.
Nah.
No.
Like,
Nope.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I didn't do all those fucking bench presses to, like...
I joined the infantry to close with and destroy the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, there's for a large variety of reasons we joined the infantry, right? But one big reason we all joined was because we're just drawn to that masculinity of just fucking shit up. Because you know what I mean? That
And in the
identifies
brotherhood,
us.
that was the other thing. That's the other thing. Like, I always try to explain this to people is, you know, it's a brotherhood. It's a family. Like, you know, we're brothers. And I think it would make the infantry stronger as a brotherhood is if, like, I don't know, it's gonna sound a little, you know, yeah, like not, but make the infantry stronger as a brotherhood. We supported each other a little more.
Dude, see, here's a funny thing. I had the exact opposite feeling. I was always such a loner. Like, me and Lou got into fights with it because the fact, like, I would always pull away. Like, we got done with, like, doing, you know, training exercises or whatever. I would just go off and do my own thing. And one night we were all getting drunk and he called me out on it. And I got, like, really defensive. And, we and him started going at it. You know what I mean? And I honestly felt like this deployment is just a job. You know? Like, to me, I was like, I'm not a cop, you know? So I apologize. I'm not trying. But, like, to me, I was like you know, I'm like a cop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna go home. Like, you know, nothing against you guys, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna see you guys later. And like, wow, like that's so not true because
because then you realize you're stuck with us.
well, not even that. Like, I hated Lou during the deployment. We fucking fought so fucking much. Like, oh, God, we hated each other.
Lou.
But dude, we came back post deployment, dude. Like, we got so fucking tight. You know what I mean? Like,
Because you look back at everything with a certain fondness. You do.
Part of that for sure, man. You know what I mean? But it's that the shit we went through, and then like
Nobody else understands.
no one understands that, and like, so people talk about like I don't ever want to belittle people's experiences and their feelings. Like I took a lot of photos of girls and pageantries and stuff, and for them it's a sisterhood, and they talk about it and stuff, and you know, and of course they have that feeling of like, we traveled and we did this, right? And I understand, like, they built a bond, right? But nothing touches that of guys who are deployed, because you'll go fishing with friends, and then for the rest of your lives, you catch up and you guys always talk about the same fishing event. But it's like, we went to war where we went to a firefight, and like for fucking hours, we did what we could to stay alive. And then 3 nights later, we did it again. And then next week we did it again. And then we fucking did it again. Nothing will ever fucking touch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on the pageantry piece of that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm a little jealous.
But I just think, you know, it brings normalcy to, you know, and I think what we're trying to get to here is like, or you know, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here, but we're doing something.
Talking.
You know, we're talking. And we're talking about a little bit of feelings. We're talking about war stories. We're talking over beers, and we're just trying to, I don't know, do a thing. And whatever it comes to be, it comes to be. But like, hopefully, you know, it helps some people, or people want to come on and tell their story and stuff like that. And I think it's, I mean, you know, you get all these like things like, oh, hey, go to the VA and to do this event, or do, you know, ride fucking horses with the VA, or fucking play paintball, or whatever the fuck, like stupid things like that. And like, I love it. And I obviously appreciate all the veteran stuff and everything. It's just like, I always felt like I don't want to like put myself out there like that, like for these organizations and stuff like that. And I was like, but here now is like, just like getting with the dudes and like talking and bullshitting.
Dude, it's the best.
That's where I feel like it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like for me, talking with other vets, that's why I love the VFW post.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
You go?
Yeah.
I do. I'm actually saying
Yeah.
VFW
He's
post.
joined the VFW.
are you?
Yeah, because we were talking about the VFW, like one of the first posts, whatever, and like I don't have time to like go and do a lot of stuff there, but I try and make it a point to like do the Veterans Day and the Memorial Day and like do the thing there. But like you may be able to answer this question, like the VA right now, like we're like, is it something that's like good, or is it, you know, where is it at right now? Because I know they're struggling with like members and stuff like that. You know.
So our post,
Yeah.
Talking, I might hit something on the camera.
all right, our post is looking better now. We just gonna put a new roof on the hall.
Yeah. No, I saw
they
all
redid
that.
the whole counter.
Yep.
You know, I'm working on getting. I already got a couple other guys that are gonna, our era guys
Yeah. No shit.
that are gonna. One's already a member. He's gonna transfer his membership up there.
Nice.
He's in the cornhole league with me on Monday nights.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was like, I feel bad that I can't like go do stuff like that, but like, Monday nights is like, I get the kids.
Well, you got kids.
So it's like it's tough.
I got a wife and a cat.
And I feel yeah.
I can get out of the house on Monday.
Yeah, right. That's not bad. So.
Yeah. Whereas like, I don't know. I look at the old timers in the VFW.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh well, because so many posts are closing,
Yeah.
and it's
Exactly.
like, well, we need to kind of keep this rolling.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get guys from our era to join.
Yeah. I think that's what it takes too, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like people like myself, right? It's a time thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a, hey, I don't want to be part of the VFW. I don't
It's a
wanna be
time
there.
thing.
Like,
And most guys, like, let's face it, the Vietnam guys, the older guys, they probably weren't doing that much until they all retired.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm lining up a retirement gig.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
that's all.
Yeah. Some bar to walk to.
Yeah, some bar to walk through. That's
How many of you guys are like our age go? Like a good amount, or
we got a few. We got a couple. We got an Air Force guy. We got another Army guy. I get now it'll be 3 guys from our unit right now.
Who are you getting?
Kevin.
Kevin? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
He's coming. I'm trying to get Goody.
Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
gotta, we gotta have him on.
you
Oh
can
my
need as
God.
many girls there. Then guys will go. If you honestly, if you had like girls there, I might be inclined to go.
I mean, it's kind of like hallowed ground, though. It's for,
Okay.
Yeah,
for the old time.
women can be at the VFW.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
for
they
sure.
can.
Well, I know that for obviously.
Jesus,
you know
Terry.
that's-
Come on.
God.
What I'm saying is,
Aren't you supposed to have a product out here?
Come on, what's going on, Terry?
You're all about. I'm just
Jesus.
kidding.
Well, I guess maybe
Supposed to be all inclusive around here, Terry.
maybe
Jesus.
I have I have a really strong knee jerk reaction not to do anything with vets. Because I think that's just because my time at Walter Reed.
Oh yeah.
10
yeah.
months there is like it was the biggest fucking dick measuring contest ever.
Yeah, but see,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, and I can speak from experience. Like just talking to these dudes, it's like
That's not
it's
like
like
that.
super chill.
yeah,
It's like, hey, I'm fucking Terry.
yeah. Like they don't ask me.
That's it.
Honestly, they don't. They've never asked me
Actually,
anything.
yeah. I wish.
I would just hang out.
No, I believe you, man. I believe you 100%. I don't know. I just don't want to.
No, once again, I respect that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you're doing it this way, so it's like, I mean, there's many ways to do what we're doing, and I think that we're trying to find a good way to do it. And I think I mean, just personally, like you asking me to come on here and like talk about it, like, dude, I think I went leaps and bounds instead of like the counseling I've been through and have done. Like it was helpful at the time. Some of the stuff I had to do, but it was also like just getting like the full story out there, like being able to like almost like have it on digits, like have it like a recollection of it, like has been one of the most helpful things than any counseling I've done. And I mean, obviously when you go home tonight, like Ditto, I'm sure you've told this story multiple times, but it's like, it's a weird thing that like it's all kind of there, like, and
It's something you don't forget.
yeah, and you started it, like that's what I appreciate like about this, and that's why I want to keep doing it, is because like you asked me, I was pretty fucking apprehensive to come on this thing, like not gonna lie, like I didn't want to talk about this stuff,
Yeah.
but as soon as I did, I felt like, and then one of my buddies, or one of the guys I deploy with, I mean, you know him, but after I did the first thing, he goes and he's like he messaged me and he's like, hey, hey, thanks for the story. It really helped. That's it. Like a 2 fucking sentence thing. And I was just like, and then I haven't talked to the dude in fucking 10 years. But like, just hearing that and just having like guys like fucking Ditto and like Miguel and like the Chapo and stuff like that. Like that was like, I don't know. It's been a good experience. So
It's like church.
yeah, exactly. Fucking preach, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Ditto, real quick.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you went to counseling mainly for the relationship with your wife.
Yeah.
And obviously, you said you had some drinking issues after your deployment stuff. Do you feel like, I guess you're mostly unscathed mentally, like you're fine? Like if it wasn't for the fact that like, you came back from the deployment, so you had some some anger issues. If you weren't married, do you feel like you would have relatively been okay and worked yourself out?
That's a good question, and I don't necessarily think I once again appreciate my wife. She's done a lot for me, and I definitely think she has helped my mental health a ton.
Yeah, I see that.
And honestly, like, so my second tour, we're towards the end of the deployment, and we were doing a patrol. We were doing going to an Iraqi police station, train Iraqi police officers, and fortunately, the town was off MSR Tampa, and it was pretty much just one way in, one way out. So we had to take the same route out.
Shit.
Didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But that was one of the main Iraqi police stations in the area, so we had to go. And so coming back out, we got hit. It was a 5-array EFP. Hit the vehicle in front of me, my vehicle, and killed the driver of the vehicle in front of me.
Oh, sorry.
And what really messed me up for a long time is, so I was heading out. I was the third vehicle. I was driving. I was the third vehicle in the convoy. We went, trained the Iraqi police, leaving. As we're about to leave, driver, Kid Cox, comes up to me. He's like, hey, Corporal Ditto, Captain Boone, who was Alpha Company's commander, wants to be third vehicle. Do you mind? I was like, no. I was like, of course I don't. So he became third vehicle. I became fourth vehicle. We go. Third vehicle got hit. And Cox driving died. And so for a long time, I was like, that should have been me.
Survivor's guilt.
I was like, I was third vehicle on the way down. Had he not said anything, I was going to be third vehicle on the way out. And so like that there was a massive issue for me. And that's one of the reasons why I think I drank so much when I got home.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's luck, pure luck.
It's funny because in your head, like you did nothing wrong. Like it's just the luck of the draw. But like your heart says something different.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no logic.
It's hard to shake that.
Yeah.
That stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. If Captain Boone hadn't been like, hey, I want to be third vehicle, that's it.
Yeah.
I would have got a piece of shrapnel in the back of the head and I would have been dead.
Jeez.
That's it.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah.
And so
we just can't, we don't know what's going to expect. We can't expect anything.
Yeah.
Just
But again,
is what it is.
coming home after that, and I was pissed because I was stop lost. I was pissed because our deployment had got extended. And this was towards the end of the deployment.
Yeah.
This was like the last couple months. Like we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, why the fuck are we out here? What are we doing?
So it sounds like your biggest issue, of all the deployments afterwards is just anger. And it sounds like you just, because I feel like I could connect with that. You always stop me if I'm wrong. But like my thing was anger as well. And I feel like talking to my counselor, my anger, because I couldn't let go of so much shit that happened to me at Walter Reed. It sounds like you had like a lot of this, the guilt and then the anger stacked up and like you just never let it go. Yeah,
it was tough. And once again, like it was one of those things like I felt guilty because I lived.
Yeah.
And then I was pissed off because I'm like, why do we have to go all the way out there to train these Iraqi police guys? What the fuck are we doing?
Right.
We got like 2 months left in country. Just let us pack our shit and fucking go.
Yeah.
There's
You already
no
did
need
your
for it.
time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just let us do our route clearance patrols because those aren't fucking dangerous enough already.
Yeah.
Let us go do those. We don't need to be out there doing the guys that replace us can train these dumbasses. We're good. We did it for 13 months prior.
Right. And you and all the other guys were feeling the same way, so everyone was just pissed, right?
Yeah. It's like everybody's pissed.
You feel like you feel like you ever let that go, because I could see it coming off you right now, like you're the anger.
I'm better at honestly, I don't think I'll ever let it completely go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a part of me. It's gonna be a part of me till I die. The most I can do is not let it, not let it ruin me, or not let it.
Spill into your relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always gonna be a part of me. It's a part of me I have to live with.
Is that something you? I find that interesting, because for the longest time I've been trying to focus on letting my anger go, and I am achieving that slowly, but I never thought of that. It's just learning to live with it. Did you one day decide, I'm just gonna live with this, and you've been okay with that, or what's that process?
Honestly, I never even. I'm gonna live with it. I never even thought about it really. It's kind of like
I think you kind of have to learn to live.
Kind of like
Yeah.
Chanda.
Yeah.
Chanda was like, my buddy is like, I'm just sad all the time, but he's learned, okay, as long as I know there's days he's gonna be happy, he's learned to live with it.
honestly, I don't think I ever made a conscious choice to live with it.
Yeah.
I think I did it out of
necessity. It's
necessity,
like
yeah.
oh shit, like yeah, because you don't know it's the issue at that point. You're
yeah.
just like
I know, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. I'll think about it, or I'll think about what happened, and I get angry because honestly, as much as the guilt was, I still think it was a stupid fucking mission. We shouldn't have been out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point.
Yeah.
And so a part of me is angry at whoever decided to send us out.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this question. I don't know if it's answer or don't answer, but like, is this something that comes up when you do your counseling with your wife and stuff like that? Like, is that something you've talked about with your wife, and maybe have you talked about it at counseling?
Yes, it's something I've told my wife, and I don't tell my wife a ton because she doesn't want to hear it. Not because she doesn't care. I just think it hurts her to know some of the stuff I've gone through.
You're hurting, she's hurting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah.
Unless, if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I do enough dumb shit as a husband. All right. I don't need to lay that on her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, what is it? This coming weekend will be our 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Fucking
10
years.
years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yep.
10
Very
years.
excited.
Damn, time flies.
I know. God bless her. She's fantastic.
Dude, I still see you sometimes. Like, I saw him a few weeks ago. I was like, you're still in Ditto? I was like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
So, was it 16 years? July 29th?
Yeah.
16.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. I guess I'm still asking for my own sake, because like I'm on this path of, like, every time I slip up and I get angry, then I get kind of angry some more at myself. I'm like, what the fuck, guy? Like I said, I don't know, the classic thing. I'll be maybe take a shower or washing dishes, and some argument will creep into my mind, and then I'm like, what the fuck are you getting? Why are you thinking of that? Why are you mentally fucking torturing yourself? You know what I mean? I get angry, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do better. So
I feel like it's how we're hardwired, though.
Yeah.
I feel like something random things come along, and I'm like thinking about like fucking shit that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And it just builds.
like building,
I've never
but
been
I'm like
that,
processing
though.
it.
I've never been like that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I don't know. So like for me, I'm in the same boat. I'll be thinking of something, and it might not be related to anything I'm doing or like at work. And I actually think, and it sounds weird. So for the podcast, I'm a police officer, my normal job. So at work, thank you. Yeah. At work, sometimes, and it helps, I think, a little bit, is I'll be dealing with people and they just say something or the way they act, and I'm like, this person, the dumbest motherfucker I ever met.
Yeah, they're worse off than you are.
Yeah, and so that helps. Like sometimes seeing people
Perspective.
snaps me back. Or other times I'll be dealing with people who are at a level where they just piss me off so much, and I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I'm a professional right now. I have to move past my anger, and I have to solve this problem. I can't just sit down here, and I do occasionally verbally berate people. a little bit, like nothing over the top.
You, Gerry?
No,
You?
I know.
But you're
Nothing-
professional,
nothing-
and you compartmentalize.
So it's nothing over the top, but there are other times where I'm like this motherfucker. And I'm like, no, Gerry, dial it back a little bit, buddy.
You just want to right
Yeah,
there.
I just want to, like,
Yeah.
not with your hand, my hand.
Yep.
But
If you didn't get the reference, look at something else. The camera's off.
I'll insert that clip.
but yeah, so like having to dial myself back, having to control myself a little bit.
Maybe that's like some sort of like that meditation people talk about, like the breathing, the yogas, and the monks. That's your meditation that pulls you out of you at that very moment.
Yeah.
But like at home,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll think of something that didn't go well at work or somebody I dealt with at work,
Yeah.
and I'll get mad for a second, and I stop. I'm like, it's work. I'm like, why? You're at home.
Yeah.
No more work.
But that doesn't bother you though. You've learned to live and accept that.
It wasn't easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think I ever made a conscious decision to be like, oh, I'm just gonna accept this as part of me.
Yeah.
I think it kind of extended from my like meeting my wife and starting that relationship and trying to like keep my relationship strong with my friends and family, because I didn't want to be that guy that was always angry.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't hard. I mean, it wasn't easy. Sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that guy that was always angry, was pissed off at everybody all the time for something that had happened to me that none of these other people were involved in. Yeah, it was miserable. Yeah, it sucked. Everything that's happened to me over there. But none of these people were there.
Deserve any of that negative energy.
Yeah, they don't deserve my anger.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect. I still get angry sometimes and snap and fly off the handle. And sometimes it's at people that deserve it. Sometimes it's people that don't.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of acceptance of there's always going to be that part of me.
Yeah.
But it's my job for my friends, family, to kind of do my best to control it.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if it'll help you, whatever, but like you were talking about how a while back, I think one of these other podcasts, we were talking about like anger or whatever. And it doesn't, like, we were talking about 0 to 60 and how 0 to 60 is not really 0 to 60. It's 1, and then it's 2, and then it's 3, and then it's 10. And then it's like, oh, I'm at 20. And then you're like borderline 50, right? And you're just like ready to fucking crack. And then it's 60 and you're just like, fucking crack. Let's go. And I think that was pretty like eye opening to me. I was like, yeah, shit that goes on all day. And you're like, this one thing. It's just these little tiny fucking things that go on during the day. And you're like, and I relate it to like construction, to like, just because it's easier for me to like perceive, right? So you get a fucking bent stud and you're like fucking trying to fucking ring the thing in. And you're like, yeah, I got that one. All right, fucking kind of pissed me off. All right, and then fucking something else goes wrong, and then you're like, what the fuck? Did I just fuck that up? Or like, you're trying to do this stuff, and then to a point you're just like fucking something breaks or whatever fuck, then like stupid thing, like, okay, the nail gun won't fucking shoot again, and you're just like, motherfucker, and you throw it across the room and you fucking smash it because you're just like fed up with all the other shit, and then you just lose your shit, and then somebody walks in at that moment and like has not experienced your day at all, but you're like hucking a fucking nail gun across the room, and they're like, oh my God, you are a fucking angry
oh my God,
I
fuck.
don't have that.
So I was out golfing a couple weeks ago. I was out with
God,
Kevin.
I see this. Golfers lose their shit.
Golfing is an angry sport.
It's such an
it is not a
Fucking like start hucking
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So I was out. I started off all right. Kevin is a much better golfer than I am.
Yep.
Don't ever tell him I said that.
He'll see it. Don't worry
I
about
know.
it. He fucking sucks at golf, by the way.
But anyway, I mean, I had a couple of beverages as well, so that doesn't help because the drinking does diminish my ability to control the burning rage that lives inside of me.
Rage.
At least we're honest.
But anyway, so I had a couple pops, and I'm sitting there, and my game just starts slowly going off. Wheels come off, and that's it. It's like you said, like, oh, that chip was terrible. Oh, okay, well, that chip also terrible. And now that I missed that putt, and it literally just spirals and spirals and spirals and spirals. And next thing I know, I got a brand new set of clubs. I'm just hucking clubs everywhere on the course.
Oh, you can't. You're watching yourself. You can't even stop. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, see, I'm not like that, but I empathize.
Yeah.
See, I'm different. That's never happened to me. Like I don't. Those kind of interactions, like obviously you guys are on the same level, but I'm more like I get in an argument with someone, and I feel like I've been wronged. Like maybe someone's condescending or they're trying to tell me what to do and I don't like it. And like I go overboard. I'm like, you're not gonna fucking tell me what to do. Like if they're right, they're right. But if I feel like in my heart they're wrong and now they just want to like fight me on it, like I go like extra hard. And my therapist is like, it's like I respond to people that are arguing me as if they're combatants. And I like my main mindset is just to crush them no matter what.
Yeah, but so it is the same.
It is the same
Because it's the same because maybe it's with people. Yeah, I know, but like that's
Which
what
is
I'm
way
talking
worse.
about. I mean,
Which is way worse.
I use like the construction as like a whatever, but it can be anything.
Yeah.
So it's like you got like this one dude that like fucking moves a piece of paper on your desk, and you're like you threw that away? Like what the fuck? Like or like and then like.
It's like
just
you
small.
expect me to do that, motherfucker?
Small little things.
Yeah.
And the essence of it all is like these small little things that just like building up, and like you get to a point where you're just like,
You snap.
I want to fucking kick down the wall.
I want to,
and like
if
I don't
had
care
C4,
what it will do.
I would be blowing up everything. Give me C4 and detonators. I'm gonna start jamming it, and that's it.
Make a breach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I hear you. And I'm not trying. I mean, I guess I'm more fascinated by the nuances because for me, like I know, like inanimate things, like I just don't like. I don't know why it just doesn't. But it's people.
Another thing that gets me is video games.
Oh, I can see that.
I don't play a whole.
I watch my brother. I don't lose my shit, but I see.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If I'm doing like,
I think everybody's like that. Though.
If
That's-
I'm. All right, so
I'm just not though.
I have a hole in my wall.
yeah,
yeah, we talked about
and-
that. Yeah.
In the shape of Xbox controller.
I have a dent in my table, the shape of an Xbox controller.
Yeah, we don't play a lot of video games anymore. Or at least I don't.
But that's another thing, and it's like video games get me because it happens so fast. So if I'm like playing like Call of Duty or something, like oh that kill was bullshit, and then it just snowballs. And that's my issue is when shit doesn't go right for me.
Yeah.
Then it starts to snowball, and I get the anger and
I think that's a common denominator. It doesn't matter what triggers it. It's kind of like our answer is like if it needs to be responded, but with force, like we go overboard because that's how we. And I hate. You know what I really hate? I hate on twofolds. I hate being that kind of cliche vet that's like oh no, like he's a dangerous, angry vet. Watch out, because like a bit of it's true.
yeah,
but where does that align too? Like, all right, so what other dude is not going through this that's not a vet? Like, and okay, yeah, we're a little bit more hyperactive with like certain things, but like I feel like at a certain point, it that's just a human like reaction. But
Yeah.
we've been to a point where like we've I don't know if we've been to a point where we're up and down so fast, and we've been to like, you're gonna live or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
That we have a different reaction to it. Like anybody could fly off the handle.
absolutely.
But I think we've like, because we've experienced like, hey, like leaving the wire and like death or no, like you're either gonna live or you're gonna die. It's like a, not that a switch has gone off, but like it's like
It's the fight or flight, but we know how to fight.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
So
We're
we
just gonna
can,
fight.
so we can just like fucking like you get to your fucking you know, the top, and you're just like flying off the handle, and you just want to fucking rage.
Yeah.
And instead of like, you know, I don't know how other people would deal with it, but like
For us, that's the only correct response.
That's like a correct response.
That's the correct response.
Yeah, like you're in an ambush. What do? You salt through the
Yeah,
objective.
you-
You kill everybody you have to live.
You dump a mag, start hucking hand grenades, and you go.
yeah.
Turn and burn.
Like you go towards the fucking firefight.
You don't. Yeah, you don't.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, but no, you're absolutely right. You don't turn away from the don't turn away from the enemy because that's gonna get you killed. You push through, you assault, and you destroy them.
And that means like every time we get angry, we attacked our source of anger. But that's so
Yeah, and
bad
whoever's in the
civilian
but
life.
whoever's in the way
Is
we're destroying.
yeah.
So
Right, exactly.
yeah, civilian life is
hate
fucking.
that. I hate
It's a
that.
terrible thing.
It's a horrible thing in
but
civilian lives.
It's fucking true.
It is.
Like, and it's just like we've come to a point where like that's like and we've dealt with it. So not that we've dealt with it so well. I want to say that, but like we've learned a way to deal with it that it's okay. Yeah, with human interactions, it's not healthy. But with like, if you look at it like this fucking bear, like in the Stone Age, like has been killing my family for like fucking generations or whatever, and we're like, fuck that bear, like,
We're gonna kill. Yeah,
That's
like,
why I got
and,
this
and
big
then
ass
like
spear.
and then so like these fucking cub bears come around and you're like, fuck those cub bears, fucking kill them, like, and it's like, well, you know, there's a different scenario.
Oh
there.
well, you know what Chanda, my buddy, in our last podcast said that really struck me. I didn't stop to say, but like everything we're taught, especially in the infantry, is like we respond with aggression,
More aggression than the enemy.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I fucking told you. But like we don't. It's not personal. We know how to respond, but that does not serve at all outside of the infantry.
No.
Nope.
Because my knee jerk reaction is just like fucking yoke you up verbally,
It's
and
a
if I
knife
have to
hand.
physically. Like what the fuck?
But but all right, so we use that. So let's say you're fucking pissed at me because I did something or whatever, or at anybody in your unit or whatever it is. You're pissed off and you want to fucking deal with it. You fucking choke me out. I try and choke you out, and then we fucking go to fucking like brawling fucking thing.
And
then you know what?
beers.
I
Yeah, 'cause
fucking
we're guys.
I fucking lift you up off the ground and I'm like, hey, fucking good, bro. Like, yeah, nice bloody eye. Like, you know what I mean? It's a different.
Let
like
me
you
get you
can't
a
you
beer.
can't fucking knock out your boss
Yeah.
because he pissed you off. Like it's just
You can't be like, let's take off your rank. Let's go.
yeah.
But coming back though, the problem is though we're so used to violence. It's like if I went to a bar, my friend, like I know, like one of my best friends, like if something happened and like some guy started pushing and like someone broke a beer bottle and was like, let's fucking go. He'd be like, whoa, bro, like you crossed the line. Like let's all fucking calm down. I'm like, I'm gonna break a fucking table. I'm gonna be like, let's fucking go. Like you're not. There's nothing gonna stop me. Like you're not gonna intimidate me, and that just doesn't work in the real world.
No.
No, definitely not.
And-
But that's why we're here, so we can talk about it. Because like it doesn't work in the real world. So we've obviously been to a point where you get to a head of it, and you're like,
You guys are talking about Kiowas and like how like like it's so awesome. Like I don't know why. Like I just didn't say it, but like for me personally, when I hear Kiowas and think of Kiowas, or I hear fast movers, like I literally know shit. This might be cliche to say, but like I feel good on the inside. I feel like there's air support. There's a good chance I'm gonna live.
I feel like it's the God trying to shepherd me.
Yes, exactly.
through this
fuck
event.
you, Taliban.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my boy's coming through.
dude, it was like you felt so safe with those fuckers were in,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, yeah, fuck with me now, motherfucker. Like,
Where are your helicopters, guys? Huh? I don't see helicopters. Those are my helicopters. Where are your helicopters?
I remember talking to them because I was like on comms a lot, like because I was like one of the comms dudes, and like, dude, they were fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
like
And
they
it's
were
like it's like talking to a bro.
yeah, and I'm not. I don't want to fucking, I want to berate people or whatever, but I will say this, and I will hold it to down that Kiowa pilots above Apache pilots. All day, every day, because like, dude, the Apache was just they were like fucking way the fuck up there.
Well, yeah, because the chain gun.
They were
could.
support,
They
like
could
they were
be.
cool, but
The Kiowas only had like, the gun pods and the
wow, like fucking dude, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Kiowas only had like the 50 cal gun pods and the rockets. With the Apaches had like the 30 millimeter chain gun. They could be 3,000 meters
Yeah.
away. And be like, no, we don't worry, we got them.
Yeah. But it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is.
And they got the M4s and the Kiowas too.
Yeah,
Like, that was the
guy just
coolest
leaning out
thing. The guys leaning out the side shooting fucking M4s out the Kiowas. You're
I
like,
never really paid it.
damn, bro.
I just know they kill dudes. That was it.
Yeah.
And they were good at it.
Yeah. 30 Mike.
Fucking awesome.
You know what I want to get to a point in life? I want to get to the point of self mastery where if someone spat in my face, I would just like calm, cool, collected, wipe it off my face. And if I had to beat their ass, for whatever reason, I beat their ass or I just walk away. That's where I want to get in life.
Come on, you. Let's go, Gavin.
I don't think there's a whole lot of walking away from spitting.
No.
Unless you're a cop, though, that's the problem. Like,
Yeah,
right?
like-
yeah, you're like fucked.
Yeah.
That's
But, like,
that's
I-
a lot of police officers though, and I can at least arrest them.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
but I think
And if they resist arrest,
I
I
think
take them into custody. Then
I think they need to take what they've taken into account.
But listen,
Like, no,
that's kind of level of self control.
I don't know if that's
Right now, I am not there.
I would never want to get to that.
That's like fucking Like what's that what's the fucking the Chinese movie with the Ip Man?
Ip Man, yeah.
Okay, he gets fucked with and stuff like that, and then he's like that reminds me of, like Bruce
I
Lee
wanna be Ip
and
Man.
like
I
all these
wanna
people,
control
and
myself,
like
man.
and I'm like, yeah, but they're like the top of the top of the top. Like,
I
dude,
can get there. I can get there.
What, you want to be like a Shaolin monk? Just like,
Yeah, just like complete self restraint where it's like, I'm just not going to lose my shit.
doing a great job, dog.
Fucking
I
Gabby.
want you to be able to, but
Thank you.
I want you to be able to also
Hey, you want to talk
dish it
about-
out.
Oh, that's never going to leave.
Yeah, that's never
I
gonna
don't
be
think
a
that's ever
problem.
gonna leave.
Yeah,
You want belly rub, Steve?
but
It's been an hour and 37 minutes.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You have any questions or I feel like we should close that out.
I think we did. I think you did pretty good, but I don't know about questions, but like I guess when
I
you
feel like we just started.
yeah, like when
That's what I'm saying. It feels like time fucking flies. When I watch Jocko stuff, I'm like, oh, do I really want to start? It's 4 hours. I'm like, how do they talk for 4 hours?
yeah, Joe Rogan,
They don't even have
Flacco,
beards,
they're all
man.
they're all like, yeah, what they're doing? They're doing stuff.
they're doing other
sometimes.
stuff.
Like, come on, there's cutscenes.
Yeah,
all
I
right?
was gonna say,
You don't have to-
there's no way Joe Rogan's not sparking up a doobie every once in a while.
but like, yeah, it is funny when you start getting rolling. You're like, oh well, let's
Because it's just
fucking goes
bullshit.
and
That's
goes.
all.
Yeah,
Like, I love bullshit. It's like my second favorite thing.
So okay, so I'm like I said, I'm asking for myself. It's kind of how I'll start, really. But so you, out of curiosity and just more reflection from me, it was anger your biggest issue, and that was your way of dealing, where you saw couples therapy and it helped you realize it's just things aren't important, so you just let it go.
Honestly, all right. So my wife will always tell me, she's like, I'm willing to die on every hill, right? Doesn't matter what the argument is. If we get into an argument, I'm going to die on that hill.
Yes, okay.
So-
I see it.
Couples therapy helped me realize that I don't have to die on every hill. I don't have to. If we get into an argument, it's not because my wife. It's not because she doesn't love me. It's not because I'm a bad person. I don't have to argue. I don't have to argue. If it's not important, you don't have to argue.
yeah.
Because I would argue once again the anger. I'd argue about anything, literally anything.
Because you just didn't want to lose.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose. And as soon as I was challenged, I would just get angry and I would argue.
Yep. Because
Right?
she's a combatant.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause she challenged me, and how dare! And once again, this wasn't just her.
Yeah.
I just use her because she's a big part of my life. But it's like, how dare she challenge me?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it would be like friends sometimes, or even my parents. If I'm like, how dare you challenge me?
Because you feel like you're being fair and they're just being unjust or
Yeah.
something.
And that's fine. You want to challenge me? I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah.
I'm going to push through it. I'm going to destroy you.
Because you're a fucking badass infantryman and like you're not gonna take shit.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a part of me was
And
like,
that's
yeah,
that's where it goes
Where
awry.
it goes, so,
I think a part of me was like, I don't want to show weakness,
yep.
and a part of me was like the anger. So I got those two things that are like joined together. It's like,
Shocking.
don't
next to each
show
other.
weakness,
Yeah.
and how dare you anger. Anger is how you respond to challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your response to you just learn to live with it?
No, I learned I gotta let things go. Sometimes I don't let everything go. I'm not perfect.
How do you let it go?
Sometimes I just take a deep breath, or I'll think about like, what are we really arguing about? Because my wife and I, once again, I'll use my wife but like we'll get in arguments sometimes about like hypotheticals, like future stuff that's like 10 or 15 years down the road. Like I want to put an outdoor kitchen in our house, and I'm like, oh, I'll use concrete to level it, and then she goes, oh, why do you want to use concrete? It's bad for the environment. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm using concrete because it's my house and I want to use concrete.
I think I would have this argument already too.
And so like I got into it, and I'm like, wait, why am I arguing about concrete? A, why am I arguing about concrete? 2, why am I arguing about something that's 5 years down, like 2, 3, 4 years down the road? And I'm like, and my wife gave me a environmentally friendly option, and I'm like, why wouldn't I just do that? It's almost the same thing. And I'm like, so I stop, and I'm like, I don't have to argue. That this argument makes no sense.
Yeah.
And you can get the concrete poured before she's even home from work.
Yes, you can.
Now, was this something as a result from your therapy where like you were able to like have this meditation and pull yourself out of the moment, or was this like you just had so much enough of it, you just had your own awakening, enlightenment?
Therapy helped because I mentioned this earlier. I'm very stubborn.
Okay.
Very stubborn.
Yeah. He's
That's
gonna die
awesome.
now.
I'm glad you're working your way through on it sounds like you're on the road to like just being good.
Oh, I try. I do.
Yeah, I think it's
It's an everyday struggle.
Yeah, I think it's a constant. Like, hey, this week I'm this week it's this shit. It's
Some weeks are better than others.
yeah.
That's right, and you're just okay with it.
Yeah. I'm not perfect.
Like, I'm the same way.
I can't be okay with
like,
it. I
dude.
need to like not fucking have those feelings.
Yeah, no, it's never
I'm
it's
not
never gonna
perfect.
go away.
Yeah.
I don't know why right now I'm getting angry. Like
It's never gonna go away, dude. That's what you need to get through your head
I
right
will
now.
make it go away.
It's not gonna go away.
I'm gonna fix this shit.
And you mentioned earlier, like if you watch a movie and you start to tear up a little bit, you slap yourself. You know what movie always gets me is at the end of Saving Private Ryan when Captain Miller is on that bridge. He's like shooting that 1911 at that tank, and it blows up, and you can kind of see the life leave him.
I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Yeah, he's on the last retreat. On
My
the
saddest
fucking
part
thing.
I can remember like is with
When the medic gets hit.
what's the Jack 2's name? Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, get that letter. Maybe because I wrote my own death letter.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember.
No, I never wrote a death letter.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
We
but I
did.
didn't.
A bunch of us did. We all left each other like $20,000.
Wow.
Well, so the stipulation was that, each guy left a different guy 20,000. That was the stipulation. We're like, hey, if I get killed, you're gonna take this 20,000 and you're gonna throw a rager in my honor. You have
That's
to
fucking awesome.
you have to blow the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the stipulation.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. What a
Like
way to
in the
honor your
SGLI, like
Yeah.
SGLI,
Yeah,
fucking
it was
20 grand.
20 grand.
Like 20 grand to like each other dude. So like
I got
it's like,
mine.
yeah,
By 20,000 lump sum, I got mine.
yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Lop? You feel like you're pretty good? You making progress?
Yeah, no, but I still think that like I need something, and I think this is my something for now. I mean,
This is fantastic.
see where
I
it
love
goes.
this.
I think I enjoy it,
Back on again. We'll have other people.
and no, I think it's good because like the stuff that you're going through, I happen to go through real quick because I got arrested. Let's put it that way. Put it bluntly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like a fast forward version of all.
Yeah,
of it
they
because it's like,
made you process.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, all this stuff going on and whatever. And but like that's kind of what we're trying to like figure out, like what's there is no cure all. And that's where I think you need to like stop with
Yeah.
your stuff, is that like there's no like this is all gonna go away.
I didn't have this before.
Because
So once again, like I'm
it's not gonna go away, dude.
I'm
It's not.
past.
Like you got to get that out of your head
I'm gonna
right the
fix
fuck
it.
now.
I'm gonna fix
It's
it.
just not gonna get fixed.
I'm going
And
back.
no. It's not about fixing. It's about that. Not that you look away to deal with it, but like you for you,
It's like all
your medication is putting stuff back into it. So like that, like your mindset goes, I have this excess energy or whatever energy. I need to put it into something
big
to make it.
energy.
Could be big dick energy. I'm not really sure. But anyway, but it has to be put into something. So like you put your stuff into your work, into your workouts, like all the stuff or whatever, which is healthy. That's a healthy version of it. And but you need to realize that the stuff that you're feeling is really never going to go away. But the way you deal with it is going to change.
Yeah.
I don't accept that. I'm sorry. Respectfully.
Well, like, all right, so
You're fucking wrong, Terry.
I'm approaching.
You're fucking wrong, bud.
Well, this video will one day, either I'm right or you're right. We'll see.
I'm approaching. So in 2025 will be 20 years since my first deployment, and
It's crazy because we're still so young.
I know, and I'm still dealing with stuff from my first deployment, my second deployment, my third deployment, from my time on active duty, my time in the guard. It all plays a part in who I am.
You're processing it now.
Yeah.
You're just getting it. Yeah.
It all plays a part in who I am. And the important thing is, like, I've realized over the years is, it's a part of me. It's an important part of me, but it can't be the only part of me. It has to be, I have to be able to do other things. I have to be able to function.
No, I hear you 100%, man. In fact, I try not to make this like my identity. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I don't think. I think you do a good job with like prioritizing what it is for you and all this stuff. And but it's I think you have to realize that like the stuff you went through. I mean, some of the stuff you went through, I didn't even experience like half of that shit. Like you got some fucked up shit going on, right? That happened to you essentially, at least militarily wise. And you have to know that there's no like end all be all. There is never gonna be. It's just a more like perspective. It's a perspective of everything.
I feel like I was a certain way before the military. I feel like I find a way to get back to that.
You're never gonna get back to that.
That doesn't happen.
I like you. I mean, I know what you mean. There's a certain like maybe
but you are your experience.
You can say like a certain innocence or like I think there's a quote where it's like once you learn something, your brain can't ever not learn it and shift back to where it was. And I get that. And I agree to a certain level.
You are only who you are through your experiences.
But the fact that like I wasn't so like my ex-girlfriend, she dumped me, right? And I learned later through her cousin, because we're mutual friends, that she dumped me and said like Terry's an angry person. And like
That wasn't you.
yes and no. I mean, I don't want to like it's a can of worms, like, but I know when I get into an argument with someone, I 100% like I don't become the biggest dick, but I get really aggressive really quickly. You know what I mean? In the moment I sniff like you're like being condescending, like I don't intellectually try to up you, but I'm gonna up you. Like that's just what happens.
Yeah.
And like if there's the slightest bit of anger or hostility, like I know like I'm bringing times 10, which my therapist calls a hyperarousal. Like we're just trained to like crush the enemy and destroy it. Like I don't say to myself, you're not gonna be yeah, you just do it. You just fucking overwhelm with fire superiority and you fucking crush them. Like I'm feeling it right now. Like
I can see the
I do that naturally. And it's not good.
The fire's coming right now.
It's not good. And
it's not good, but it needs to be like you're doing well with it. Like you find an outlet of it.
Well, I mean, this is like a fourth podcast, maybe fifth. I don't know. I'm not counting, but like, I feel like there's a way for me to get back to where I was. And like, you know what? Someone's gonna spit in my face. I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. I won't get angry. Can you guys support me? Can you guys support me? Come on.
You lying sack of shit.
I can tell you're definitely not gonna get angry at all.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're just all fucked.
No, see, that's not what it is though. It's like there's that fucking anger with all of it, but like it's not. It's an okay anger. Like you have to experience emotions. You can't just like Like
No.
you can't just shut out your emotions.
Dude, absolutely. I hear you, dude. But like, I make angry decisions, and like it's something as simple when I was at BJ's. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. I want you to continue.
Okay, I'll say this real quickly. I was
No,
at
no,
BJ's.
don't take
Some
it.
guy cut me off, right? And then like I got out of my car. I said whatever, and like I started walking to BJ's. I heard him like snicker or laugh or something like that. I didn't intellectualize this to say I'm gonna turn around and like flex on this guy. I literally button hooked right away. I walked back to my car like I needed something, and then I did it slow enough where he left. He got out of his car, started walking to BJ's, and I got out of my car, started walking to mine. And the whole time I'm pacing him the same pace, and I'm staring at him the whole fucking time. And then we're converging, going to the entrance, and I'm fucking eyeing him at the same time. I'm like, what now, motherfucker? You got something to say? And he wouldn't even look at me. He's with his girlfriend, won't even look at me the whole time. I was like, that's right, bitch. And that was not needed at all. That level of like aggression was not needed. Like I can feel it right
Well,
now.
hey,
like, I'm getting
hey.
worked up.
I can,
Well,
I
hey,
can
listen,
see.
listen. That's why you're doing what you're doing. Like we were talking about it like 10 years later. Like, hey, there's some stuff going on, right? You got to talk about it. You got to do it,
And it's all
you're
from
doing
Walter
it.
Reed. And like one day, like this little stories will come out. Where you know, I mean, it's like whatever. We got time. You know, more podcast.
More podcasts.
Fucking Walter Reed. But all right, I said a lot of I said a lot. I don't want to hog it. A lot, Pierre. Is there anything you want to say? Ask Ditto. I feel like we probably should close it out now at this point.
No, man, Ditto. Hey, fucking good to see you. Good to have you on, Jerry.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Once again,
And,
I really enjoyed this. I would love to come back if you guys will have me.
yeah,
Maybe
thanks.
get done back here and get a
Oh
couple
my
80-second guys.
Oh,
huh?
I would love to have.
fucking 80-second craziness.
Yeah. Dunn was like, they're all killers. They're all fucking killers. I remember the way he said that. It was something really like it just stuck with me. He goes, "Oh my god, everyone in the 82nd, they're all fucking killers."
Yeah, well,
We did do a lot of that though.
yeah.
Anything you want to share, Ditto? Whether it's like yourself personally or like a message you want to show other guys, like in our position right now, that I think we're now just opening up.
Honestly, my biggest thing is, and I tell guys all the time, guys that listen to me at least, is if you have a problem, talk to somebody. Like it took my wife a while to convince us to do counseling, but in the long run, it helped my marriage. It helped me, and it really did. A great resource is Military One Source. A lot of people won't use it, but we got free counseling out of it. We didn't have to pay for anything. The counselor we went to was fantastic. And it doesn't go back to the military. It's its own thing.
Yeah, that was one of my big things too. Like when I started doing counseling and like go to the vet center, like and the vet center is in, I know there's one in Warwick and stuff like that, but like it wasn't connected to VA, so I didn't have anything to worry about with that kind of stuff. And like just literally going there, like don't even expect anything. Just go there, talk, like whatever you talk about, like you may feel a little bit better. Like and that's where it all starts.
Yeah. No, because honestly,
And don't feel like you said, don't feel that that's a weak point. Like that's like to me, that's stronger than like going to the bar and drinking every night because that's what I was doing.
yeah,
And it was like
I was right there with you.
Yeah. So it was like it was just like that was a harder experience. Obviously, like it was forced on me, but like it was the most helpful experience.
Yeah.
So
I don't think. I mean, there could be something wrong with drinking, but I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking. I think
it's not
as
the
long as you're
drinking.
talking-
It's not the drinking.
It's the talk. It's the
using the
it's the drinking to cover up
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
So like when I talk about drinking, I talk about like when I came back from Afghanistan, I was like drinking because I didn't want to deal with any.
Yeah, because I don't know how to process.
I didn't want to deal with any emotions or anything like that. I just wanted to be the biggest, baddest dude that could drink everything under the face of the sun.
Blackout Jerry doesn't
that was
feel
easy.
anything.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
that's
see
true.
that. No, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Like right now, I'm very aware. Like, well, one, we enjoy alcohol. It tastes great. It feels good. But two, it's like I think we're drinking right now because it just makes it easier. Like I don't want to do this completely sober. Talk to you guys about my feelings and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't.
I also love Corona.
Same here, man. I'm Corona over Heineken's. Yeah.
Oh no,
But I
fantastic.
mean, I think there is maybe a therapeutic approach to this. Like, I mean, not okay. Yeah, fucking people will say beer is not a fucking therapeutic approach, but beer and having a conversation with dudes is a different story.
Yeah.
And it's a different and hey, I don't give a fuck. Like some fucking psychologist can be like, that's fucked up, but like fuck that. Like,
Hey, we're not doing crack.
What are we doing though? We're fucking talking about
modern-day
shit. We're actually going through this.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
Guess what
having
the
wine,
philosophers were doing? They were
having
fucking
wine and
drinking
talking
a
about
ton of
feelings.
wine
Yeah.
and fucking feelings.
Talking about shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, Plato, I don't know if I agree.
I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, hey, Marcus Aurelius will kick every fucking philosopher's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Just gonna lie. That's
Just 4 minutes shy of 2 hours, Ditto. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, honestly, once again, I know it sounds cliche, but talk to somebody. Even just like for me, talking to my great uncle Mel, a Korean War vet who went through. I can't even imagine the stuff he went through.
What was his role?
He was an infantryman in Korea.
Oh, was he like one of these guys with flamethrowers?
No, infantryman, like normal guy.
Oh, I didn't know if like a flamethrower wasn't part of the infantry.
yeah, probably was.
Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah.
I think it was probably different MOS.
Okay, but yeah, he was infantryman. Okay,
Probably not. It's probably like, hey, grab that.
Yeah, you're in 11 Foxtrot. What's the Foxtrot flavor?
To me, it's like just another like almost like a separate weapon squad. But yeah, shit. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so it's like talking to him. Even if you don't want to go talk to somebody, if you have a buddy, like a friend,
Yeah.
who's also in
reach
the
out.
service, reach
Just
out.
reach out because I think everybody is willing to like bullshit at least.
Yeah.
Like to an extent.
Dude, it just occurred to me, right? After my deployment for 9 years, I shit you not, because I didn't have to work. I had my disability because I was in Walter Reed for 10 months getting paid active duty. So like it just banked up. And then going to school, I got bank, right? So for 9 years, I didn't work. Literally, not even exaggerating, for 9 years, every day straight, I drank every night.
Yeah.
Like whether I got super wasted or but every night I drank. But I never, ever, ever talked about my feelings. How many years did it take for each of you guys individually to like eventually start talking about feelings about any of this shit?
A couple years.
Yeah.
Well, so I got back and, once again, like I got back, I was home for a little bit. Then I met my buddy, one of my buddies I deployed with down in Bolivia because he's Bolivian.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And I was in Bolivia for like a month. And honestly, I think it was the drunkest I've ever been. Literally, I would just drink my face off all day, every day.
In Bolivia, fuck it.
Yeah. And I come back, and same thing. I'm living with my parents, and same thing every night because I had deployment money. I had fucking shit tons of money. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to try and find a job. So just drinking my face off. Then 3-4 months later, I move in with my buddy Mike. I start doing school that fall semester. I can't even get through school because I'm just drinking so much. I literally I'd be so fucked up. I couldn't wake up and go to class.
Yeah, and at the time you're probably like, I got this.
Yeah.
With the fucking R slick and shit. Like, I'm good.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's college. Anybody can do college. Can you drink this much and do college? And I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then,
assessment.
so a year goes by and I'm doing that. And I meet my girlfriend who became my wife. And I'm still kind of like partying, drinking hard. But she's not much of a drinker. And same thing. Going back to school. And I'm trying to do the girlfriend, school, and then just partying. And then I'm in the guard at the time, and they're like, oh, deployment's coming around again. So I hop on the deployment for Charlie Company, and we decide we're going to get married. And now I'm like, hey, man, you're going to have responsibility. I'm like, you're going to have a wife. Eventually, maybe kids and a house, and you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
And I kind of was running away from everything that happened.
Because you could.
Yeah, because I could.
You didn't have to have responsibilities.
But I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm going to have a wife. I'm like, I got to figure this shit out. And it happened randomly. I was at a family function. And Uncle Mel was there.
Okay.
And I started talking to him. And so he told me some stuff about Korea. And he goes, just so you know, I don't tell anybody this, but he goes, you were in war, so you understand. Mm-hmm. And so I literally would go over to Uncle Mel's, help him do stuff around it, because, he was old at the time. I'd help him do stuff, and we'd talk. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what got me started.
Yeah. That's awesome. And yours was the DUI.
Yeah, I definitely started with the DUI. Yeah, I mean, there were some other things, but yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I don't think there's a cure all to all this. I think that this helps.
No,
Like,
yeah,
and to me, it helps.
No, this-
so like that's why I'm like, that's why I want to bring people on. I want to have them talk. I want to do this stuff, and you know, it helps me to help. Not helps me to help them, but it helps me to. And I think you're in the same boat. Is that it? Like finding a way that other people have, you know, coped with things or dealt with things helps your perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
Yeah.
you know, there's some things that, you know, are similar, some things are not, and then, but
Thank you.
you know, you just it's kind of a thing, and yeah, I hope we do more.
Yeah. I think the common denominator is like, guys, like I know it's so cliche and we all know, but just fucking talk about it, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's been over 10 years for me to wait for this to happen, and I only went because like I knew I had a problem, but then I had like some sort of crazy stomach problems. It turned out to just be like heartburn. But I went to the VA, and when I was there, I was like, you know what? Can I talk to someone about, you know, my brain? You know?
Yeah, the stuff
Because I
going
get
on.
angry every day. I don't know if that's normal or not.
Another thing.
Yeah.
So, another thing that doesn't help us is like I know I got hit in the head a lot,
Okay, too bad.
and I don't know how many times.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, but something else to tell
That's,
us.
that is something
Yeah.
food for thought.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Our main message is
202. Yeah,
fucking talk about it. But Ditto, thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
us.
Hey guys,
Thanks,
thank you
brother.
guys for having me. I really enjoyed
It's
it.
always good to catch up. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for you sharing your story and putting it out there. And hopefully this reaches another vet who just needs to hear we're going through the same shit and just fucking talk.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of like an open thing. Like, hey, like if anybody, you know, feels like they want to come on or whatever, and you know us or see the video and stuff like that, like, you know, feel free to reach out. Obviously looking for, I think we had me, you, and then we had 11 Charlie, Tanker Dude last week. We got the famous Ditto this week. Like, you know, hey, you know, so we're open to. If we let Ditto on, then we let anybody on. So.
All right, cheers.
All right, yeah, brother. Good stuff.